Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, this is your brother Zakaria Allah, branched out here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, coming with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord willing, this be edifying to the Lord's elect. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruchar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, is laboring in the word, and is pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, is remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect, to the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you Israelite foreigners out there who live among the heathen, and who look like those heathen nations, but your lineage goes back to the progenitors of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel through the line of your fathers. I want to say peace and blessings to you all. Shalom, Wakasayim, Wabarakim. All right, so pretty much I was listening to the elder apostles, and they were holding camp. You know what I'm saying? They got the Bishop Sakaran with them, and you know, they brought out the situation with Vocab Malone. All right, when he pretty much went to the camp over in Cleveland, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much harassing them. Of course, what he did was, as the Apostle Tahar had brought out, was he brought about a strongman argument, what's known as a strongman's argument. Okay, and he asked the Bishop Sakaran to look for the definition of that term, and to look up examples of a strongman argument. All right, so I'm gonna let this play a little bit, and I'm gonna let the Spirit move. So bear with me.
A straw man argument is examples of a straw man argument. Okay, it says a straw man argument is a trick where someone changes or exaggerates another person's point to make it easier to attack.
They ain't giving you an example. Ask it again. An example of the straw man's argument.
An example of a straw man argument.
Which they did give you a definition.
Yeah, the same thing popped up.
Okay, read it again.
It says a straw man argument is a trick where someone changes or exaggerates another person's point to make it easier to attack. The real point, we should spend more money on public schools. The fake point, straw man point, you want to leave our country defenseless by cutting all military spending.
Right, that's a straw man's argument. Okay,
Yeah. And you see how completely devoid or detached it is from the original argument, from the original point. All right, that's what Vocab Malone was doing. Let the apostle continue.
That's what this guy engages in, straw man's argument. In other words, he initially asked the question, but the question should be what? Who did the Messiah come from? That's the more important question, right?
Yeah. All right. So the original question, so the actual question should be, who did Yahweh Shai come for? All right. Who did Yahweh Shai come for? What was his mission? Okay. What was his purpose? You see what I'm saying? And this strongman argument that Vocab was coming in was the virgin birth. You know what I'm saying? And then all he did was hamper or hammer down on the virgin birth. You see what I'm saying? And go on this entirely different tirade that shifted from the original point. You know what I'm saying? The truth of the matter is that these antics and these all the semantics and whatnot, okay, they only work on those that are unlearned in these scriptures. Those who don't understand the true premise, who don't understand the the mysteries of the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, and the things that's written and contained within, you know what I'm saying, they'll fall for these strongman arguments. They'll fall for the weak games that these Edomites play. Okay, as I believe Elder Yashawamba had went into this topic a couple days back, about a week ago, you know what I'm saying, after this whole situation went down. He brought out the understanding, you know what I'm saying, in full context, you know what I'm saying, going into how one is born, you know what I'm saying, going into, the reincarnation, things of that nature, all the things that's necessary to understand, all right, the full breakdown of how, you know what I'm saying, how Yahweh Shai did not come from some immaculate conception. You know what I'm saying? He came through the loins and lineage of David. All right, he came through the seed line of King David. You see what I'm saying? Through copulation, from the woman being Mary, having become pregnant due to sex. All right, due to sex. Because if you was going to say, oh well, she was pregnant due to the angels or whatever, you know what I'm saying? All right, because the spirit of the Lord rested upon Yahweh Shai in the womb. Well, the same thing should be said about what? About John the Baptist, because John the Baptist was imbued with the spirit of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? At birth. All right, before birth, as a matter of fact, he leaped in his mother's womb. You see what I'm saying? So, let's go to the actual point. The actual point of the matter is, what was Yahweh Shai's mission? Okay, what was Yahweh Shai's mission? And the mission never changed. You see what I'm saying? The mission never changed from the beginning of the book to the ending of the book. You see what I'm saying? All throughout, it's talking about these 12 tribes. It's talking about these 12 sons. It's talking about this holy seed, this regal class, if you will. You know what I'm saying? When you go into Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6, it's telling you the same thing. All right? Nothing changes. All right? Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Oh, Salaki. I was in the wrong spot. Bear with me, Akim. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." That doesn't change. Okay? Doesn't change. When it's talking about those that are under the law, when it's talking about those that have to be redeemed, that were redeemed of the law, okay, it's talking about those who came into the law through what? Through sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? Through sacrifice, through blood, all right, through a covenant. And that covenant was not made with everybody. You see what I'm saying? This particular covenant was made with one particular people, a specific people, a peculiar people. Okay, you can't lump in the entire world into that. All right, but here's where you get all these Christians, and they only know one scripture. All Christians can quote one scripture in their mind, one scripture, without even thinking. They can quote this one scripture, and that's it. And it's the most out of context scripture that's ever been utilized in history. You see what I'm saying? John chapter 3 verse 16. You see what I'm saying? Where no one knows any of the lead up to that. No one knows what the context is. No one understands the meaning of words. You see what I'm saying? And it's just used without context, without anything being anything being made made to be understood. You see what I'm saying? This is why the prophets are needed. You see? So let's go to the mission. Let's get the understanding of the mission. Let's go to Matthew. All right. This is Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. It says, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua." All right? And thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins. He shall save his people from their sins. The same thing goes on. All right? You go into the Old Testament. The Old Testament is talking about what? When Yahushua redeems his people. You see what I'm saying? It's talking about a future prophecy. Go into Isaiah chapter 34. All right? This is Isaiah chapter 34. Let me hit verse 2. It says, "For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter." You see what I'm saying? So where does John 3:16 fit into all that? You see what I'm saying? For God so loved the world. Yeah, here it's talking about in the future tense that he's going to destroy all these nations. All right? He's going to destroy them. He's going to bring his fury and his vengeance upon them. You see what I'm saying? But God so loved the world. You see, this is where the confusion comes in, because nobody understands nobody understands the words that's written. Right? Verse 3. "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, and as the leaf falleth off from the vine, as the falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment." You see what I'm saying? Because when people talk about the whole world, when people talk about salvation for all, they're not talking about everybody. Let's get that straight up and down, man. You see what I'm saying? They're talking about saving Idumea. They're talking about saving Esau, Edom, so-called white man. That's what their priority is. You see what I'm saying? That's what they're talking about, right? "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea." You see what I'm saying? "And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion." For the controversy of Zion. Remember that Zion is a people before it's a place. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. You see what I'm saying? Israel is a people before it's a place. Okay? Just like Basra, Idumea, Edom is a people. Salakia, the camera came out. The camera cut off. But what was I saying before it cut off? You have to remember that Israel, Jerusalem, Zion, all right, it's synonymous, and it's a people first before it's a place. Just like Idumea, Basra, all right, Edom is a people before it's a place, man. You see what I'm saying? The scriptures are cryptic in this manner. So let's go to the Lord's mission, man. Right? So due to this controversy of Zion, the Lord's going to send his son. Okay? And while what's his name? While Vocab Malone is trying to say that this chapter is not talking about a future prophecy, even the scholar, what's his name? I think it was David Guzik. Even he had to admit that this is talking about a future prophecy where Yahushua comes back and deals with Edom. You see what I'm saying? So Isaiah chapter 60. Oh, Slakia. Isaiah chapter 63. Excuse me. Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 1, it says, Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. And who is he coming to save? You see what I'm saying? Who is this man, all right, coming to save? Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain on my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And the year of my redeemed is come. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to understand what the Lord's mission is. And it's a mission that's never changed, man. All right? The Lord is the same today, tomorrow, and forever. Right? Let's go to, I think it's Malachi. Salakia. So this is Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Why is it emphasizing Jacob? And Jacob specifically. Why isn't it talking about all nations? You see what I'm saying? Ye sons of Jacob be not consumed. The sons of Jacob are the Israelites. You see what I'm saying? All right. Isaiah chapter, let's see. Isaiah chapter 45, let's go to verse 17. All right. And it reads, But Israel shall be saved in the Lord Yahweh, with an everlasting salvation. And who is the Lord Yahweh going to send, okay, to do the saving? It's his son Yahushai. Yahushai means he delivers. Yah meaning he, Yahushai meaning deliver. He delivers. So Yahushai is coming back to save his people, man. You see? But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded, world without end. All right? Isaiah chapter 61. Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 1, it says, The Spirit of the Lord power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, is upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Who are the ones that are bound, man? You see what I'm saying? Everybody knows the truth. Everybody knows what this is talking about. You see what I'm saying? They like to act like they don't understand when we say what we're saying. But you know damn well what it is. You see what I'm saying? You know what it is, man. Right? To bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord Yahweh, that he might be glorified. You see what I'm saying? Verse 10, I will greatly rejoice in the Lord Yahweh. My soul shall be joyful in my power, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as the bride adorneth herself with her jewels. You see what I'm saying? Salvation is coming for us. It's not talking about everybody. It's not talking about everybody, man. You see, and this is why Vocab Malone likes to ignore. He likes to ignore this question. You see what I'm saying? He likes to ignore that because he knows full well that you can't get around this. You can't get around this. So he tries to come with this loser argument, okay, to trap up those who don't understand the truth, who don't understand reincarnation, who don't understand how lineage works. You see what I'm saying? This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. This is talking about salvation here. And set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. You see what I'm saying? Jacob is going to be saved, man. All right? Beginning first with the Jews, and then the Gentiles, which are the Israelite foreigners. But you have to understand that as well. You see what I'm saying? That's another dark saying. That's another mystery of the scriptures, man, that only the prophets can bring to your understanding. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. You see? It's not hard, man. But that's what the Lord is coming for. The Lord is coming to bring us back into our fullness, into our might, into our power. You see what I'm saying? As the Lord Yahweh Shai, all right, had prayed in the book of John, chapter 17. You see what I'm saying? He wanted to be brought back to what he once was, at the right hand of the Father. And here we are, we're praying, all right, we're praying and we're hoping that we can be restored back to our rightful place by Yahweh Shai's side. You see what I'm saying? As the first fruits of the 144,000, okay? And in our perfection, man. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're praying for, man. You see what I'm saying? This is what we're striving for. And for the large multitude who believe on these words, all right, they have their lots. You see? And we're coming into a new government. This is what Vocab Malone doesn't want to deal with. You see, this is what he doesn't want to address that. All right? But I'm going to cut that there, man. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, Salakia, the camera did cut off earlier, but you know, I pray that that you know, you were edified. And in closing, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Wachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and who teach well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.